Welcome, Harmon family, to our 11th annual Black History Month program. We are so excited to have you all join us. It has been a long journey this year, and this year's Black History program is going to look a lot different than it has in the past, but without fail, I know that we are presenting you with a great product, and I'm looking forward to having you join us and watching these great presentations with all of these wonderful speakers. I want to thank Ms. Wonkalo, Mr. Narcissus, Ms. Elliot, and Coach Gilbreath for all of their hard work in putting this together. It is so important for us to constantly learn about different cultures and celebrate diversity. And I'm so proud to be a part of a campus that honors that and continues that tradition. And it is so exciting for us to be able to present this 11th annual virtual Black History Month program. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Sanaa Smith, and I'll be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way with the tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the bright star of our victory is cast. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bobby. Nice to meet you guys. I'm a hip-hop and Afrobeat DJ that travels the U.S., and I also work in Microsoft as a program manager. I work on Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. The first question is, how long have I been a pioneer in my industry? I don't even know if I'd go as far as to say I'm a pioneer, right? But I've been DJing now for about 3 years, and then I've been working at Microsoft for about 5 years. So I think that gives the full picture.
Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be doing this for you today, and I hope I get a chance to see you one day in person. The first question I was asked to answer was, how have I been a pioneer in my industry? And I was a school teacher for 30 years, so that was my first industry. But I was a pioneer because as a student, I went to segregated schools up through the 9th grade. And when I became a teacher, I was determined that I would not go to a school where students had not ever had a black teacher. So when I started teaching on purpose, I went to a school that had never had a black teacher. And I was an English teacher for 11th and 12th grade students pretty much. I taught speech as well. And when I became a legislator, because right now I'm a state senator in Arkansas, when I became a state senator, that was a big deal because I was one of the few women that were serving then. But just as importantly, the way I kind of broke into some things and became a pioneer, I have run for Congress 2 times. Unfortunately, I did not win. but I've been the nominee for the Democratic Party in Arkansas for Congress 2 times, this last time around in 2020. But what you do, and this is Black History Month, so what you do in cases like that is you keep pushing until somebody else who looks like me is able to go through that door.
Greetings. I am Matthew Moores, and I currently serve as the Director of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for Lewisville ISD. I'm not sure I've reached pioneer status in my career just yet, but I am dedicated to executing in excellence. As a first-generation college student and a believer in collective work and shared responsibility, I have been able to apply my life experiences to the professional spaces I navigate. The goal is to be authentic in all things and in all ways. The hope is that I can assist in building a culture in which everyone can live in their truth and be secure in the value that they bring to each space.
Hi everyone, I'm Autumn Rouse. I am a Customer and Partner Engagement Manager for the Office of the CEO at Microsoft. And I'm very happy to share this video with you all during Black History Month. How have I been a pioneer in my industry? I wouldn't technically say a pioneer yet, but I come from a smaller school in Arkansas, so the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and I studied computer engineering. And I was the only girl in my classes, the only person of color in my classes, and it can definitely be a little disheartening, but I guess that's kind of one way in pioneering, is being the only one that looks like you, and there are going to be situations like that in your life, and so I guess that's one way, and then kind of having the mindset that I wanted to leave Arkansas, because a lot of people didn't. They wanted to stay, in the state or close to home, and I wanted to go and, do different things in different areas. So that's one way.
Hello, my name is Alejandro House, and I am a retired U.S. Marine Major. I flew aircraft in the Marine Corps as well as in the civilian world. I'm currently an airline pilot for American Airlines. I'm here to answer questions for Black History Month. First question is, how have you been a pioneer in your industry? You do not typically see a large amount of pilots, especially in the Marine Corps, especially as fighter pilots that land and take off from aircraft carriers, as well as in the airline industry. So that is the way that I feel that I've been able to pioneer in my industry, being one of few pilots, whether it be in the military or now in the airline sector.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Logan Carrington. I am a global product marketing manager for NetApp based in the Silicon Valley. I'm a graduate of the University of Virginia, so go Who's. If there are any future Wahoos out there, I ran track for BVA for 4 years. In terms of the questions you guys asked me, how have you been a pioneer in your industry? Well, I was awarded a Modern Day Technology Leader Award at the Black Engineer of the Year Award STEM Conference. And being in an industry in tech where less than 5% of the workforce is African American, it was an incredible honor, and I'm incredibly humbled to be awarded that opportunity to showcase how my involvement in technical and financial literacy programs has helped shape different STEM individuals around the world. And I don't take that recognition lightly, while at the same time realizing that hopefully there's more than just me out there. So really encouraging you guys, apply for these jobs, get these certifications, learning more in your schools to take with you into creating your own organizations, own nonprofits, and really just kind of encouraging you to keep it going.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may twerk in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Or are you beaten with gloom? Cause I walk out of our oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with a century of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise.
Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise.
Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise.
I rise.
I rise.
If I were to give you a piece of advice that I was given, I think don't be the one to tell yourself no. I think that's a really, really strong message to internalize. Like, because it's so easy to assume that we're not capable, but you actually don't realize how capable you are. So it's necessary at least to try. Now, if someone else tells you no, then you know you tried and it just didn't work out. But if you tell yourself no, then you'll always be with this like wondering of, could I have done more?
Okay, so this question is about what piece of advice I've had that's really helped me in life and my career. And I've had a lot of advice, but some of the best. When I was graduating from college, one of my college professors said to me, one way to make sure that you are always important and relevant in your job is to make yourself indispensable. And what does that mean? I asked him, and so we talked about it for about 30 minutes. But what he was saying to me is make sure that you're prepared every day when you go to work. Make sure people know that you have what it takes to be a leader because you listen, because you're prepared, as I said, and you will make sure you include others. The second piece of advice that's been so good for me was understand that your way is only one way, and always be genuine with people and always include others who are not like you. And that's been great for me because our country is such a diverse place. And as a person who's an African American, it's really important for me to learn about people who don't look like me, who don't talk as I do, and who don't even think like me. And so because of that, I find myself to be a very open person, and it's made my life so rich. I am so happy about those two pieces of advice.
The greatest piece of advice I received was from Patrick Briggs, who reminded me to come in my own way. Simply, the world doesn't need another duplicate. It's okay to be different. Find strength in who you are and let your light shine bright.
That piece of advice was, you have the power to accomplish whatever God has gifted you to do. And I feel God has gifted me to be a pilot. Since I was the age of 5, I've always wanted to fly in outer space as an astronaut or just pilot an aircraft. And I started my flying career at the age of 17 and have been flying now for 31 years.
What do you do? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it because that's what people expect of you? Or are you really passionate about it? What's your true passion? Academics? Activism? Athletics? Music? Entrepreneurship? Art? Don't seek validation from anybody. Make your own stigma and be your own boss. I'm a prime example of that. I'm a freshman at Southern Methodist University. Everybody expected me to go to a performing arts school, but I had to make the decision based on what I felt was best for my career. I followed my own passion and got accepted into one of the top universities in Texas. Go to any school that you aspire to attend. People wanted me to play sports. Instead, I went against the status quo and became the owner of A-Style Productions. Don't stand by and wait for confirmation from anybody. Follow your own path. Success is not defined by the expectations people put on you. Be your own definition of success.
Now, son, if you don't do it, do it.
Walk with ease, set standards for yourself. Young king, young queen, never failed a test. You're gifted, talented, you're worthy of the best. Times are hard, but don't give in to the stress. Your black is royalty, young king, young queen. So when you show up, you better own the scene.
I just looked at my wrist, I got time today. Get them crossing the line today. The hate be so real, the love be fake. Be bumping their gums and bumping my tape. Don't go against me, they ask for my help. Go get out your feelings and get it yourself. Might got the same shoes, but you ain't gon' step. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo.
Black magic, black excellence, black habits. This black medicine, everything black. Black church, everything. Everything black. Hug, black love, everything.
Signal going in and out, swimming at the house, live with no doubts, zen out, big dog plays, payoffs and routes, laid across the couch, I'm zen out.
The way I'm carbon beam, knock your legs off, how to get away from, how to stand off, in a minute spot, knock your dreads off, by what you call it, I didn't ain't no random off. I turned out to be the man that I manifested.
The world is your oyster. You know, I think when I was in high school, I was too concerned with the immediate next step and didn't realize how multiple steps in a row like open up a much bigger picture for you. So for all you guys, you know, if I could give you one piece of advice looking forward, like do the things that you need to do now so you can enjoy the things like in the not so distant future, you know, like whatever that may look like for you, you know, whether it's going to college or whether it's learning a trade, like whatever you need to do now to set yourself up for success down the road, like don't shy away from it. Like the time to enjoy is still coming.
In high school, I wish I had known that my smart looked different than my peers. It wasn't until later on that I realized that my gifts looked different and served a purpose that goes beyond grades and awards.
Ooh, this is a hard one. You know, I would probably say I wish I knew in high school that relationships were not the most important thing. I think I had that issue like some people do. You think if somebody breaks up with you, it's the end of the world, and oh my gosh. But a few years later, you'll learn that it was very, very small and minute of a situation.
Something I wish I had learned, you know, in high school or in school was realizing that grades aren't the be-all end-all, but at the same time, they are very important. So realizing that if I understand the information and maybe I get a B, compared to me not really understanding it and getting an A, that B will help me translate me further in life than that A would, because I would actually be able to apply it to things that I need, you know, going forward in my life.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I would last for long. Now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
I've been walking with my face into the sun. Weight on my shoulder, and I'm going in oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. Gonna do what I can when I can, when I can for my people. When the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Just equity. I think that's what everybody wants. I don't want to be rewarded because I'm black, but I also don't want to be discriminated against because I'm black. Like I feel like if there was equity nationally and even globally, it'd make for a much better place.
Well, on that last question where I talked about capitalism, one of the ways I'd like to see the Black experience improve is that I wish people had more opportunity to be able to have a better job, to make more money, and to realize what we call the American dream. But the other thing I wish is that African Americans and all other people would start to live together, same neighborhoods, go to church together, and have the experience of diversity and not just something that we talk about. But I think there's a secondary thing, because so many of my ancestors and some of yours were brought here in slavery. We don't know much about our heritage from Africa. And I wish the African American experience could be different in that students learn about how they came from kings and queens, how they came from inventors, how they came from people who were scientists, as opposed to thinking about it as having come from slavery in this country. Because there's such a rich history that African Americans came from on the continent of Africa, and it's almost never taught. It's not all about slavery. Everybody needs to know that.
Support and invest in spaces that are dedicated to your success. To improve experiences, we must recognize that the change we seek will not be given to us. This is a hard truth, but a hopeful reality. There are institutions and spaces that are beacons of hope and agents of change. We need to cling to them rather than fear being associated with them. The notion of chasing someone else's dream can lead to your own personal nightmare. Thus, to improve experiences, seek meaningful and positive relationships.
That's weighted. There are a lot of things that I believe can be improved for Black people in America, but I guess I'll focus where I work. So that's corporate America. I would like to see more Black people get the recognition that they deserve in corporate America, get the promotions, the leadership positions that they deserve, because most of these corporations have been built by exploiting our people. They've been built on the backs of our people, but we're not recognized. And there are people like in technology companies, there are Black coders that you don't hear about, the Black engineers that hold these patents, or were unable to hold the patents for what they created, and is now in the world. So I would like to see that be better in corporate America. Like, we should get the recognition and we should get the promotions and the leadership positions that we rightly deserve.
I would like to see more upper echelon executives in multiple areas of the industry, making business owners out of African American male and females. Brett, having them branch out into areas that they feel uncomfortable with, but still might be of interest to them. Just because you don't see a lot of African Americans in that industry doesn't mean you cannot achieve your goals within that industry.
In terms of something I'd like to see in Black America, it goes back to my point earlier with tech representation. So less than 5% of us in the workforce, but there's more than that who are talented to be able to get these roles. So it's more of just, maybe creating our own organizations, getting certifications, applying for, the MLT program, just, stepping out of the box a little bit and really just realizing that we do have value in this industry, whether society may think we do or not.
Corvette, hopping fucking jet like jet, and then stand him down like that. They were like, Pop, why you all like that? Why you tall like that? Why you all like that? I'm up for Eddie, I'm up, I don't want no.
Cause I'm on white man. Cause I'm on Mr. White down here, right man, Fox a million. This would be the remix. Savage life.
It's the Al shots with a bally. I wish a girl would know Shally. Trust I got the keys like a valley. Heat like Miami. Free throw on a Dwayne Wade on a galley. That's a 3-second violation. Airpool on my team stay annihilating. Chest. So I really don't know why you're hating. With your copy so much of people sideways twins. Look, filming up, all them other gal, them a regular. Hearing up on the radio, over video. Slimming up, all them little gal, better simmer down. Inferior, she ain't the real thing, I'm original. Hit it up, we want the kitty cat, make him look it up. Tip it up, ride it like a horse, tell her giddy up. Bend over, y'all tear it up, y'all rip it up. But the gal, look no, y'all like a chlamydia.
Yamborghini chain, rest in peace to my superior. Hermes feed a village in Liberia. TMZ taking pictures causing my hysteria. Mama see me on BT and start tearing up. I'ma start killing, how you get that tripe? I attended Harlem picnics where you risk your life. Uncle school, used to skim work, selling nicks at night. I was only 8 years old, watching Nick at night. Ride with the mob, Alhamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Berg is the name, Ben Baller did the chain. Tono for the watch, Prezi plain Jane.
I know that's right. Big bag, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Balenciaga brought it back. No how I give it up. It's big bags, bustin' out the Bentley band. Take a man, Birkin back, party back. No how I give it up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuff. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuff.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. Very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise.
I think the youth is actually the most direct influence of positive change. I don't know if y'all remember, but during the rallies of the former president, like everyone on TikTok just banded together and bought like all the tickets in the Tulsa show. And so it ended up being an empty show because all the 18-year-olds, of course, were leaning Democratic. I think that's things like that, like the youth can literally just band together, especially now that we have all these different forms of social media between TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. So don't think that you don't have a voice. Don't think that your voice isn't important. You can consistently influence change. And honestly, I think most people want you guys to influence change. I think, every generation that's coming makes it better for the generation following. So as I'm a millennial, right? So the Xers before me, they did a whole bunch that opened up the doors for us. And now we're trying to open up the doors for y'all. And y'all are equally open up the doors for the generation following y'all.
So my next question is, how can the youth create a positive change? Well, I'll start with when I was a kid. When I was 9 years old, I really knew I wanted to be in politics. And I, at the same time, knew I wanted to be a teacher. And both those things are very positive. So what I did was I made sure I made sure I did well in school. I made sure that I stayed informed. Like, I actually knew what was happening in the country. I read newspapers, I listened to the news, and I read magazines, anything I could my hands on to read. So I made a positive change in that when I became a teacher, I was well aware of some of the things that, that kids needed to have to be prepared. But I was also well aware that a lot of kids were not motivated and not everybody was like me. And I wanted to make a positive change by inspiring young people to be everything they can beautifully be, because that's what you're capable of. And as a child as well, I was one of those who questioned and pushed back against segregation. So in the 10th grade, my sisters and I, we went to a school and we were the first to go there and desegregate that school to make sure things changed. So as a young person, when you see something, figure out a way to help make the change. Don't just complain about it, because you have great ideas. Put them to use. Get some adults to help you as well.
I will say the youth today, I say youth like I'm so old, I'm only 27, but the youth today, I'll say y'all off the chain. And I would say just keep going into spaces that say you're not supposed to be there and disrupt them. I think that's one superpower that the youth have today. You don't look at what people are saying a space is supposed to look like, or how people are supposed to behave. You go in, bring your authentic selves, and you disrupt the space, and you bring such power and intellect. And I really think the youth can continue to do that and influence change. So, just keep disrupting spaces. Don't take the status quo.
Do not be sucked into worldly activities. There is a way for you to have an influence but not be disruptive in the community. Remember, your voice has power, but it has to be honorable to the men and women who have sacrificed in our past. So make sure that your voice always honors the past and those sacrifices of the past.
The winds are shifting, people are rising up.
Oh, a revolution
understanding. Oh, you call me your family, but your silence is deafening. Oh, I feel the winds are shifting, people are rising up, a revolution's coming.
See?
You know, I'm not sure really how to answer that. Like, as of late, I've really fallen in love with Dirk. You know, Dirk just, to me, makes great music. Don Toliver is always one of my favorites. 21 Savage's recent tape. There wasn't much music in 2020, so let's start from there. So I don't know if these would normally be my answers. But then equally, as an Afrobeats DJ, I love WizKid's album. I loved Davido's album. I'm disappointed in Burn 'Em, but I still play it every once in a while. But yeah, I'm all ears. It was nice meeting you guys. If y'all need anything, feel free to reach out to me. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Well, I was asked about the songs that are in a consistent rotation on my Spotify, but I don't happen to have a Spotify list, but I can tell you the music that I love. First of all, I like all kinds of music. I, of course, grew up singing and dancing with the people in my family, because in the African-American family, we all danced together and sang together. You know, little hint, I can't sing, but I just, you know, pretend I can. But some of my favorite people are those, you know, I really like some of the very new people. I love Kendrick Lamar. He's not new, but the fact that he is a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper is unbelievable, because for Pulitzer Prize, those are writers. He's the only person I know in entertainment the way he is, and especially as a rapper, and he has won a Pulitzer Prize. That's a big deal. You should look up Pulitzer Prize. And outside of that, there are a lot of country singers that I like, especially some of the women now that are so fantastic. I like the men too. But I don't speak but one language, but I like to listen to music in other languages. Like, I listen to a lot of music in Spanish and also in Italian, those two more than anything else. But also in French, because even though I might not know everything they're saying, I can speak French decently well, but I love that soothing sound of how everything seems to just ooze off their lips and through their teeth. So the thing to me about music is knowing that no matter who you are, where you are, everybody's music matters, and please don't just keep yourself stuck in one kind of music. Because, you know, Bruno Mars can come on and all I can think is, I just want to dance until I drop dead. I love his dance music, and others as well. But you know, y'all don't want to see me dance. But thank you guys so much for listening to me. And thank you, my beautiful, sweet niece, Jacole Elliot, for asking me to do this. I am so happy you are a teacher. I love you.
I'm not sure if I have a constant rotation, but this month, my listening has centered around the notion of gratefulness in the midst of chaos. So 2 songs that have been on repeat have been The Blessing by Melvin Crispell and Miranda Curtis, and PJ Morton's Everything's Gonna Be Alright. So may favor be upon you for 1,000 generations, and may you never forget that no matter what the future may bring, everything's gonna be alright.
Songs, I'm more of an albums person. So I like the Neo Saturn album. I love Feels by Snow Allegra. And what's another album that just kind of stays on? You know, that latest Jasmine Sullivan stays on rotation. So that's all for me. Miss Elliot's probably gonna get on to me for saying that. But I'm very happy that I was able to share this video with you all, and keep achieving, keep going to school every day, keep doing what you have to do to build the life that you want. Thanks.
I have a mixture of Christian music as well as R&B. So I hope that this is helpful to the viewers of this video. Remember, you stand on the shoulders of giants. Men and women that have gone before you. Always honor their sacrifice and what they've done for you, not only in your industry, but in your community. Thank you.
In terms of on a personal standpoint, I know the last question about what songs are my constant rotation. You know, I'm a big Trey Songz guy. Big Drake, Chris Brown. It really depends on the mood that I'm in. But all that music kind of ties into productivity for me when it comes to marketing, content, working with my team, and kind of breaking the gap down from us not being part of this industry. And hopefully, going forward, more of us are involved. Thank you again, D, for the opportunity. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Look forward to being a resource, and hopefully get a chance to hear from you guys soon. All right, bye.
LHS Harmon, teachers, thank you for sharing this program with your students.
Students, thank you for being an amazing audience.
And lastly, thank you for joining us for the 11th annual Black History Month program.
See you next year.